Hey, this video is for anybody who's interested in having their child join the choir. RUSD, Virtual Children's Choirs, is what it's going to be called this year. We are running all year long as virtual. So no matter what happens in RUSD, we will stay a virtual choir. The time might have to change. I work at Gifford Elementary, and our school day goes past 4 o'clock. And goes to almost 4 o'clock. And right now it only goes till 3. So we're running these videos for our video classes from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock on Monday or Tuesday if you're in the advanced choir, and then every other Thursday, or on every other Thursday if you were in the training choir. So I want to walk you through how to sign your kid up for choir. And then if you want to stick around, I'm going to tell you about why your kid should be in this choir, because what we have is unique in all the world. There is no one else doing what we do here in Racine. We have some awesome things and have had some great opportunities for your children. And I would love to have your talented kids be a part of what we do. And with the virtual learning, I think it's going to be really, really good this year. So let me show you how to sign your child up for choir. First, I need to share a screen with you. And so I'm going to pull that up. You need to go to rusd.org, our Racine Unified School District's website. So here we are, rusd.org. And then you find academics and you pull it down to extended learning program. Now it opens a different screen, so I have to go and change my which screen I'm sharing. So let me stop sharing that one and slide back to where you are and get to the right place. So let me present this tab. This is the second time I made this video because the first time none of this worked. It didn't switch with it. So we got to go to RUSD again. I got to find it. Extended learning program. Here we are. So from extended learning, now we're gonna have to do this a couple times. You scroll down in extended learning and you get to this where it says to register, click here. So we're gonna click there. And now I'm gonna share this tab and there we go. You can read all this later, but let's keep going. Down here, you need to sign up and say Gifford because that's where the program is being run from. Whether your child goes to Gifford or not is not important, okay? It can be any child, 2nd through 5th grade that is in Racine County. So you need to put something here. I'm just gonna put some bogus answers to fill these out quickly. You will fill them out correctly, of course. It won't let me go on to the next screen, which I need if I don't put something in here. So I'm putting these in, just something to hold in place. And moving through, and you'll fill those all out correctly. I can't leave any blank. All right, then it says, will you still be interested in your student participating extended learning program if RUSD learning plan changes? Yeah, we're gonna be virtual all year. So there isn't gonna be a physical choir this year. We're not gonna be in the same room singing with each other, spreading germs. We're going to be virtual all year long. So you're gonna click yes and hit next. And let me see, it looks like we are still on the same screen. Hopefully you can see that. I am just gonna check real quick to see what's showing. And then we'll go back to that. I don't wanna miss that. So yeah, so here we go, you scroll down. We are not a high school, we are K-8, so you gotta go to the K-8 club selection, go down the bottom, and you will pick one of these. If you wanna be in both, you're going to have to leave a note where there's a space at the end that says you can add more information and say, I want my child to be in both choirs, which they can do if they're in 3rd through 5th grade. But let's assume your child wants to be in our top group, that's the virtual children's choir. Click on that, you'd hit next. Presently, they don't have our 2nd choir listed here. They may eventually do that. So if you don't sign up right away, you could check, and down here at the bottom should be the other choir if you want your child to be in both. They'd have to be in 3rd through 5th to be in both. 2nd graders can only join the training choir. And then you hit submit. I'm not going to hit submit because I don't want them to wonder what the heck all that stuff was I just created on there. But that's how you do it. So you submit it. Then your child is registered. There is no fee. Racine's extended learning is completely free. I'm very pleased about that. There is a cost for a t-shirt. There's a uniform t-shirt the kids will need. We call them the test shirt. It says TEH. It's the spelled it when you type fast. That shirt is around $8. It'll depend on how many kids are in choir, how many shirts I order, how much they'll cost. So we'll let you know that later. They will also need a set of earphones so that they can put one earphone in and listen to the tracks that I'll be giving them to listen to, and they need to be able to record themselves. So if they have a Chromebook or a Chrome tab from a tablet from Racine Unified, they can use that. They can use a cell phone. Sometimes you can even use an old cell phone that you're not using anymore if it still works, and you can go through Wi-Fi. Any device that you can have them join Zoom, it's going to be Zoom Meets, not Google Meet. Any device that can get on there also probably can record them. And they're going to be recording their performance with, after we've learned all the music and everything, they'll be recording their personal performance, and then I'm going to take those and mix them all together later on to make the videos that we're going to put on YouTube. So that's how you register. That's it. There's no more cost than that. I hope that you're interested and you stay interested. I want to talk to you about communication. If you want to get a hold of me, the best way is jon.senzig@rusd.org. That's my school email. If you don't get a response right away, remember, I am teaching during the day. I have no time from 8 o'clock until noon or actually 12:25 or something like that before I can even get to the emails. And I do work another job and have a whole life. So if I don't get to you right away, I understand. But if you don't get a word back from me within a day or two, please feel free to send another email. We are so inundated with emails with the virtual learning that it's hard to see everything that comes through now. So also I have ADD, so it would help if you bug me. And I will never think that you're bugging me if you ask for something you need, even if you have to ask multiple times. So feel free. I actually appreciate that. So I don't want you to be wondering what we need to do. You can also look for Children's Square of the Internet Parent Portal on Facebook. That's one place where I post things for the choir. And if you're not on Facebook, I also post on search and Google search Meet Your Teacher Jack Senzig Gifford. If you search those things, it should come up with my Google Sites, and that's a place I can store the documents so that you can access the documents to fill out and scan and send back, or take a picture of and send back. So that's more that you'll get later on. Once I've got an email from you and I know your child is registered, you'll get some paperwork that needs to be filled out. We're an internet choir that does video of kids and shares it on social media and YouTube. There's some legal issues that I need you to fill out some paperwork to protect the school district and myself and your child, but especially the district. I mean, there's a famous story about Pink Floyd when they did the Wall album. They had kids singing on that album, and when the kids grew up, they sued Pink Floyd for millions of dollars. No, I don't think the district's getting money from what we're doing. I know they're not, but still we have to do it for legal reasons, okay? So if you know enough now to send me that email or to register your child, you can stop watching if you want. But before you go, I'm going to spend the next 20 minutes or so telling you about the amazing things that we do so you can find out really what is so special about what we do, because it is unique in all the world, and it's right here in little old Racine, right here. Your kids can be a part of this. I would love to have your talented kids add their voice to the amazing stuff that we're doing. It makes Racine look great. It makes Wisconsin look great. It even makes the United States look great, because what we do affects all of that. When people see the great stuff we do and go, wow, that's happening in Racine, Wisconsin, that is so cool. So be a part of it. So I'm going to tell you the story. So if you already know the story, go ahead and stop watching the video and move on. But for those that don't, let me share this incredible tale with you, because I think it is really incredible. About 10 years ago, a little more than that, I first heard about YouTube. It might be hard to think about now that YouTube is a new thing, but it's only a decade old, maybe 12 years old. And my son had come home from high school and he said, Dad, you got to check out this thing called YouTube. So I went online and I searched T-U-B-E, and didn't find anything. He's like, Dad, it's spelled Y-O-U. It's you, like your thing, you know. I didn't even know that. And so he showed me a video, some African lions chasing a wildebeest. It was really cool, but it got the spinning wheel of death. It would run a little while and stop, run a little while and stop. So I didn't think too much of it. And my home internet was not that fast. Back with America Online, I think was the server or the email service. Anyway, so a year or so later, I was at some workshops and stuff. They're talking about YouTube. I'm like, fine, I'll see what it's about. So I had a video. The only video I had on my laptop was a video of the choir singing And it was the first year our choir had ever been. And so we weren't even that good. But I took the video and I signed up for a YouTube account and I put it on YouTube to see what the experience was. Well, I didn't even think about it. I left it there for a week, and it was just an exercise for me. And I came back a week later and I looked, and our video had 10,000 views. My mind was blown. I'd never had my students perform for 10,000 people before, and here 10,000 strangers had watched our video, or maybe one stranger that watched it 10,000 times, but a lot of people watched this video, and I was just blown away. So I searched YouTube. I'm like, well, what are other elementary school choirs doing? And there was only one other elementary school choir at the time on YouTube, only one in all the world on YouTube other than us, and that was PS22 Chorus. They are phenomenal. You want to have some fun watching some kids sing? Check them out. They're from Staten Island, New York. It's all fifth graders in their choir. They do some amazing stuff. And being in New York, they did a lot of pop songs, and the pop singers that sang the songs actually stop into the school and sing with them. Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't those be some great experiences for our kids? So I saw that their video had gotten 500,000 views. 500,000. It was Survivor's Eye of the Tiger, and they had a kid singing the solo and the rest of the choir singing. It was amazing. 500,000 views of an elementary school choir. Think of what we could do with that. Think of the positive PR machine for Racine and Racine Unified and for Wisconsin. If we could have people know that what we do is so cool, how much entertainment can we give for these people all over the world? We've been watched now in over 215 countries all around the world, more than 3 million times. That's pretty impressive. That's neat that people in Zimbabwe have watched our kids here in Wisconsin. I think these kids are being ambassadors to the entire world from Wisconsin. I think that's really worthwhile. So I thought about, how am I going to get a lot of people to watch what we do? I didn't want to copy what they were doing at PS22. Greg Reinberg's a great guy. I've gotten to know him a little bit, emailed him a few times. But he's very charismatic, a younger guy. Well, he's 10 years older now, but he was a lot younger than me and a lot more charismatic and energetic and a very good musician. And what he did isn't what I could do. I wanted to do something else. And so I had to pick something that I'm passionate about, which video games. That's my Zelda hat right there. I actually don't play very many video games because I'm an addict, and I don't mess with them because I would play all day and not get my work done. So I only play around Christmas time or summer once in a while. But I love them. I think that they're a very creative art form. I love the way they're made. It's all good stuff to me. So I thought, let's find something from a video game and target other people like me and people that love video games. So I found this video. I, again, went to my resources, young people, my son and his friends, and asked for some suggestions. And my son told me about this video game, Portal. I had seen him play it, but I had never played it myself. And he told me about this song that was in the game. Portal was a cult classic game. Some young people, I think they were at MIT as a final project in their studies, made a video game, and then they got to go to Valve Corporation, which is a major video game company. They own and run Steam, if you've heard of that. They got to go to Valve Corporation and pitch their idea for a video game and show what they'd worked on to the corporate executives there. And when they did, they left the kids sitting in the conference room for like a couple hours because the engineers were playing their game and enjoyed it so much that they just left the kids sitting there. And they came back in and they offered them a contract to be designers for their company and to buy their game. And they turned it into this great video game called Portal, and they included it. It's in part of the Half-Life universe, if you know what that is. And it became like a cult classic because it was a short little game. You could finish it in one night, even. Some people do. It took me longer, but you could finish it very quickly. And there was a song in it. And so my son showed me the song, and at first I wasn't all that interested, but after I played the game and I saw what it was, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is it. So we did the song from Portal. It's called Still Alive. And I've learned so much since then because I had this brilliant idea to have a choir performance in the dark and shoot video of it. The kids did a light show where they held the Portal colors in the game. There's you make these doorways portals. One's orange and one is blue, and you walk in the orange doorway and you come out the blue doorway, and it's a puzzler. I think it's a neat game for kids, but you need to play it. It's really rated T. You'd have to make sure that your kids are ready for that kind of stuff. It's not like a first-person shooter where you're hurting other people. I like that. And it's a very thoughtful game, creative, really challenges your kids with puzzles they have to figure out. But anyway, so we did the song, and we went over to Case High School for a big concert. I knew we'd have high school kids that would know the game and would probably be a very good audience. But I didn't know how to make a video. I didn't know how, but we did the best we could. I actually gave the camera to a friend who handed it to his daughter, who recorded it for us. And we put that video up on YouTube, and the next day it was on every gaming website in the English-speaking world. There used to be a channel called G4, some of you might remember. It was on G4 TV, and it got shared everywhere. And so we had 250,000 views in the first week, and it just took off 500,000 after a couple weeks. We've had over 2 million views of the different versions of that video that we've put up. The main one, I think, is 1,700,000. But so I'm going to show you a little bit of that while I'm talking. I have to pull up the presentation. The sound's going to be on. I hope it's not too annoying. I've got it set for low. But this particular version of the song was used by Valve Corporation themselves. They made a video game, this Portal 2, soon after we released this video. And Valve Corporation, am I sharing that? Hang on. I am not. All right, sorry to have to go back over that. Kids have to help me with this all the time. Here we go. Sorry about that. So Valve Corporation that made the video game Portal made a new game called Portal 2 just after. They just announced it right after we released the video. That's part of what made it so popular. And they saw the video, and they made a book called The Final Hours of Portal 2. I believe it's still available on Steam, so if you want to look that up, The Final Hours of Portal 2. And they included this version of our video. You can see the portals down here, orange and blue. There's a little girl in a L-wire dress that's lighting up as there's more sound. The kids lit up their face because they sang, and they sang 16 different sections. So the light show was rather entertaining for the audience. And I think you can see who she is at the end of the video. This little girl, well, she's bowing, but her name was May Kohler. She's an awesome singer now. She's gone on to do music. And so we'll talk about her and other things in a little while. But that was such a big deal that I got contacted by a Hollywood producer who said, Mr. Senzig, we saw what you did and on YouTube, and I would like to pitch a show about your choir, an elementary school choir with YouTube dreams. And so he asked us if we'd make some audition tapes for him. So we had a new music teacher that knew choreography, so she helped with this stuff. And we did this at a performance of our Still Alive music down in Kenosha at UW Parkside. So again, we tried to find something that was video game and internet meme kind of related, which is our target audience. And so this is a version of Telephone, which is by Lady Gaga and Beyonce. This version is the Pomplamoose version, if you happen to know anything about them. So it wasn't as big a success. I mean, we had 2 versions of this video up, so it really had about 25,000 views, but it wasn't successful. The guy explained how it works is he took the videos to a meeting with the corporate executives for all of the networks. Now it would be like CBS All Access and Netflix and that, but those didn't exist yet. So ABC, NBC, some cable networks, and he went and they'd say, hey Joe, what do you got this year for us? And he'd say, well, I got this great show about women police officers, and we're going to call it Sirens. And they'd say, here's $1 million, go make that show. And so they asked him, and he said, well, I got this idea about this elementary school from Wisconsin. And you got to know, in the Hollywood world, Wisconsin means backwoods. It means, people that are not very savvy and all that. So here would be this show from Wisconsin of kids with YouTube dreams. He thought it would be a great idea, but they didn't buy it. It was such an opportunity, though, for the kids that we were this close to having a reality show about us. And this was a legitimate thing. I had to look into the guy before I responded to the email. He was the producer of shows like Wife Swap and Being Human and a show about J-Lo. I never saw that one. I'm not really into reality TV. But it was a legitimate offer, and it was awesome. In 1 week, the kids created the 2 videos that we did and sent them in. It was just phenomenal opportunity for us. So people were writing to me from all over the world about how cool they thought the choir was from the still live video. A lot of video game designers would write and say they were in tears when they watched us, because it was the first time they felt like video games and video games and video game music were mainstream. If you can believe it, in 2010, there wasn't like extreme games and stuff like that going on that I don't believe. And video games, people look down on people playing video games as if they were, just some awful geeks. And so our kids here at Gifford School really gave them a sense of belonging. And a lot of them said that they were just in tears. One lady in particular worked for Blizzard, and she was helping me trying to find the next songs that we would do. So I invited her to join our creative team to come up with the next idea. And so she did, and she came up with the idea of doing a meme called Trollolo. Now, you might remember this. It's been a while, but it was on car commercials and all over, everywhere this Trollolo meme came. It was about this guy from Russia who in the 1970s sang on some TV show, and he was singing a song about cowboys, but he was Russian, and the Russian government wouldn't let him sing on air about something positive about America. So he sang it in a Russian style where you just use syllables to sing. It's kind of like a scat thing, but a little less interesting. And so he sang this song called Trollolo, and in the video it's Trollolo, la 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 la. You might remember that. It says lol a lot, LOL, which pretty much means laughing out loud, right? But it didn't then. So when the internet just ate this up, when it went on YouTube in the 2010s, the internet just blew up with it. It was like the biggest meme for a long time. So Jenny from Blizzard, she was one of the designers for World of Warcraft, if you know that game. She suggested this Trollolo video. Well, I liked it. I thought we were going to do it, but I wasn't sure how yet. And then the idea came to me to turn it into a Christmas video so that people could come back and watch it year after year. And it is a Christmas classic. It gets a lot of views every year at Christmas. And I'm going to share that with you if I do it the right way this time. We had people from Russia that were fans of our choir that helped me to translate some of the stuff into Russian. So you'll see some Russian words, which are kind of jokes and other internet memes. So I'm going to play a little bit of this for you. See the Russian there. It doesn't really say Christmas Trollolo because Christmas isn't such a big deal. It's a New Year's Trollolo, it says. And then it says something about in Soviet Russia, YouTube subscribes to you. It doesn't say what the translation is. So you see this, there's like a troll face on stage. We had an orchestra. I hired the guy with the long blonde hair to arrange it for us for the orchestra. A lot of our fans had said, oh, I wish I could have been in a choir like that when I was a kid. But I thought if we put the kids in mask, we'll turn that down a little bit. We put the kids in masks, people can imagine that it's them on stage. And so I had the kids bring their own masks. I had some extra ones if kids didn't, but most did. And we turned this into a Christmas song. So you'll hear some Christmas themes in here. The idea of this one was to be in the what the heck category, and it was very successful. People also said they wish they'd be in the audience and that they would love to have sung along, so we had taught the audience the song, and they sang along with us too, with a really neat twist. We had some cameos in the video of people that were important to us. Here's a little zombie guy who looked like the original singer. He's a Christmas hat. Our principal at the time was Jeff Eben. There's the little girl with the L-wire dress. And I just finished it out with Santa. So it was another big hit. You can see the view count, 775,000 views. it was just a weird, fun, amazing thing to do, to cover this, to do a derivative work of this internet meme. And it was really awesome. It was a lot of fun. Well, when that happened, then I got an email from America's Got Talent the next year. And America's Got Talent said, we've seen the videos that you have up on YouTube with your kids. We're wondering if you're still doing a choir. We would like to have you make an audition or do an audition for us. They gave me the email to send the video to when we're done. Now, I'd left Gifford for 2 years. I was over at Red Apple, and I wanted to start the choir as a nonprofit so that all the kids in Racine could participate. And we weren't allowed to have kids outside of Gifford be a part of the choir at the time because it was just a choir club or a Gifford club. So I thought starting as a nonprofit, we could get other kids to be involved. So I told them, oh, I don't have a choir at the moment, but I'm starting up this nonprofit. Can you wait a little while and we'll put together a video for you? And they did. So this was our audition for America's Got Talent. Now, again, we were aiming at a video game audience because that's our niche. And I had seen some boys on YouTube that did a cover of the Still Alive song on a mandolin and a violin in the snow, in a snowstorm up in Minnesota. And so I invited them, that's them over here. I invited them to come and join. These three, actually. These two are the brothers that played the mandolin and the violin. And I invited them to come and play with us. So I actually hired them to drive all the way down here from Minneapolis and accompany us, and then hired a couple more musicians. The idea here was to blur the lines between the video game world and the real world. So we have a choir on stage in the video game. It was all built in survival mode, if you know what that is. And we have the choir in the real world. I wore a Steve head on my head to match the character from Minecraft. This was really important to getting the choir known, and started as a nonprofit. We eventually decided that the nonprofit wasn't the way to go. It was too expensive for families. It was $150 a semester, and that was just too expensive. There was insurance issues and things like that. So when extended learning came around, I asked Extended Learning if we could join them and be a part of that, and moved back to Gifford. And I moved back here as a teacher too. So it was a big moment. It worked very well for us to make that change. So the America's Got Talent thing, I sent the video right to them, and we didn't have to stand in line like most people do. And they didn't buy it. I gotta say, I didn't really understand what America's Got Talent was about. I'd never watched the show. I didn't watch that much TV. And so I just stayed true to what we do, which is geeky media stuff, from video games to anime, internet memes, stuff like that. And I didn't really aim at a live audience. So a show that would wanted a live choir. So maybe that was it. We might end up auditioning for America's Got Talent again sometime on our own, with or without an invitation. But that's not on the docket for this year. So after we did that, while we were doing that, I contacted I wanted to find a rock band that we could sing with and perform with in public, because I thought we needed to have a public performance presence outside of our school families. So I found a rock band called Cloudcult, and I had never heard of them. But again, I talked to my younger family members and friends, and my nephew told me about this awesome alternative rock band or experimental rock band called Cloudcult. Check them out on YouTube. They're very interesting. Almost every single one of their songs is kid friendly. You should probably listen to them first, though, to make sure. They're kind of hippie people. They perform in bare feet. I've seen them several times. But their music is awesome. It's a big band. It's got a lot of members. There's brass and clarinet and violin and cello and keyboard. But the cool thing is they have 2 live artists painting on stage as part of the band. It's a very unique idea. And then they auction off the artwork at the end of the night. But it's really, really neat stuff. And so I found this band, and they were not mainstream, because I don't know if you know, but like, I can't call up Beyonce and say, hey, Beyonce, can we cover one of your songs and can we sing with you? You have to be a lot bigger deal than I am to do that. They're impossible to get a hold of. Excuse me, with my lights like to turn off. So I wanted to find a band that was approachable. And so this band, if you look at the top 100 bands in the United States, they're probably like 126, 116. So they're not in the top 100, but they're still really good and they have a big following. So I thought they'd be approachable. And I had my kids at Red Apple at the time cover a song of theirs called Chemicals Collide. It's a pretty neat song. And then I'd asked the director or the band leader for permission. His name's Craig Minowa. I asked him for permission to cover the song, and he said, "Sure, send us a video when you're done." So I did. And then part of my evil plan was to then ask him if we could perform with them because I knew their schedule was coming up in Chicago, and I thought the kids could go down there and sing with them on that song. Well, he politely said no thanks to that, but he did say, "Hey, you know, this is synchronicity. I've been thinking about having a kids choir sing on our new album, Love. And would you be interested in having the kids record?" I'm like, "Do you think?" So we actually recorded with the band Cloudcult. The kids were never in the same room with the bands. That's not the way it works. It works a lot like virtual learning, where like we're doing now, where the kids recorded and then we sent the audio to Craig for him to mix with it. And so we as part of the nonprofit, we met in the summer, and the kids all had headphones on, and we all gathered around a central mixer that spread out all of the wires and everything. We won't be doing it in the same room like that, but it's kind of the same concept. And then we sent him the tracks that we made. We made like 7 tracks, and he took them and mixed them in with the band to make an awesome song. Search Cloudcult. The show starts now on YouTube. There's no like produced video for it, but the song is there, and you can listen to it and hear the kids from Gifford and other schools from southeastern Wisconsin singing on the album of a rock band. That's some awesome stuff. Those are the kind of things that we do. I always try to find some kind of experiences for the kids. Now, I am a classically trained musician, so some of my stuff also goes down that route, the very, very familiar, typical school choir kind of stuff, but I don't like being typical. So we've done some really awesome stuff. We've had 3 different times we've held contests, international composition contests for composers to write music for our kids to perform, and that's part of what we do as well. We did a contest. Our PTA was kind enough the last 2 years to give us a grant, Gator's First Grant it's called, to hold the contests for composers to write for us. And we had a lot of success in both. We got 3 great pieces, our first, second, and third place winners both years. We performed all 3 of them 2 years ago. And then last year, COVID hit. And the pieces that they had written all had to have something to do with how technology affects children's lives. So we got them to write us the pieces, but we weren't able to perform them. So the last piece I'm going to show you is, and I have to pull it up, it's going to take me a second. The last piece I'd like to show you, if you were still sticking around, is our choirs 2 years ago premiering a piece that was written for them. And it is going to take me a moment. Sorry to make you wait. And we performed this with the Gifford Middle School Choir and with the Case High School Master Singer Choir. And we did this at Gifford on the stage. It's the world premiere. This was our winner. Jennifer Wagner wrote this wonderful piece called We Are the Children. And as soon as I can share that with you, I'll let that play you out. So if you'd like to watch the whole thing, you're welcome to. But watch a little bit at least, and then send me an email saying your kid is interested if you haven't already. jon.senzig@rusd.org. And I hope to have your kids be a part of this awesome, awesome program that we have. So here we are. We are the children. Thanks for coming. All right. Thanks again for coming. We are going to be on Zoom. The link will be in the email that I'm going to send. If you've sent me your email address, the link will be there for next week. It probably will be the same. I'm new to Zoom, so we're going to give that a try. And there'll be some paperwork that I'm going to need you to fill out. So thank you all.